All right, so thank you so much, Dr. Nohayati. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good afternoon to all. So today, as has been introduced to you, to all of you, so we have a training on uh, CPG of management of e-cigarette or vaping product use associated lung injury. And I was given a task to deliver to all of you on a vaping history, the importance of taking a vaping history. And also I will touch on a bit with regard to the notification requirement for EVADI. Next slide, please. Okay, so at the end of my lecture, is hope that all of you here will learn about the type of electronic cigarette or vaping product that available in Malaysia market. It's important for us to learn about the product or the electronic cigarette in order for us to understand better the disease caused by it. The second one is a bit about on the law and legislation that control this product. And the third one, and to learn, the important one is on the importance of history taking in vaping from the patient who we suspect of having EVALI, and also the requirement for notification if we suspect the patient having EVALI or confirmed or probable EVALI. Next slide. All right. So with regard to our first learning objective, the type of electronic cigarettes. So if you can see from this slide, we can say that electronic cigarette is originated from China and it came to Malaysia around 2013, but become phenomena in Malaysia in 2015. So at that time, we had so many viral videos with regards to the vaping, and it cut across all population. We can see teenagers, we can see also women start to vape. The electronic cigarettes also have been evolved into so many generations. In this slide, you can see we got first, second, third, fourth, and I think it's still evolving. And the electronic cigarette also can be divided into using the liquid as a smoking product, or there is also a tobacco or a cigarette light that we call it as a heated tobacco product. So with regard to the EVALI, the electronic cigarette and vaping associated lung injury, those product is pertaining to electronic cigarette that use liquid as a smoking substance. The one in the left side. Okay, next slide. So this is we further divide the electronic cigarette containing that use liquid as a smoking substance into two systems, which is the open system. So this one actually it has separate the device and also the liquid. So for the device, it has a chamber, or we call it tank, that the user can use the liquid to refill the liquid into the tank, and it can easily modified by the user. So some of the user call this type as a tank or e-vapor or mod. And in Malaysia, they also call it as a vape. This type, they call it as a vape. The most common name for this type is as a vape. So it's basically separate the device and e-liquids, and e-liquid is sold in a separate bottle. Okay, next slide. Okay, this is also the example of open system. Even though you can see it's more or like a pot, but it still have a tank that the user can refill the liquid. The one at the top of the device is where the tank located. Okay, next slide. Okay, so for the liquid, if you can see here, this is some example how they sold the electronic cigarette online. If you can see this one, this is the flavor is for coffee cappuccino, It came in 60 ml per bottle, and it came in either 6 or 12 mg of nicotine. So that is the strength for nicotine. And the other one, if you can see, the mango banana is usually the flavor that they use for the electronic cigarette. And it spell out the nicotine can be 0 nicotine, 3 mg or 6 mg. And they have used also propylene glycol and vegetable glycerol inside the for the main ingredient for the e-liquid. Okay, next slide. Okay, so the other system is what we call closed system or system tertutup. For this one, is actually it come in a ready-filled e-liquid in a cartridge or in one disposable pot. So the user cannot refill the liquid because it's already pre-filled by the retailer or by the marketers. So they usually buy this one as a in the one package. The device and the cartridge it came together, and they cannot refill. And this is commonly known by the electronic user as pod. They call it as pod. So next slide. Okay, this is other example. It can be a pen light. It also can be a pen drive. And I think currently there is also a disposable pod. It does not have cartridge, but it come in one set where it has very variety of design. I think last year there has been a viral of tiger pod. All sort of design, a toy-like design that can be attractive to our youngsters and to our kids. Okay, so this is an example of closed system that is being sold in our market. So next slide. Okay, this is another example. It had so many brands and so many variety. So this one is what they call it as an NSIC, and the cartridge they call it as NPod. So at the moment they still sell it widely in the online. You can see here they had their own web page to promote the brand of the electronic cigarettes. So this is all the type of closed system that we have in our local market. Next slide. All right. So that is basically a type of electronic cigarette, right? The device, how it has been used, and the liquid. What are the basic content in the liquid? So majority of the electronic cigarette will contain nicotine. Even though you might hear there is nicotine-free e-liquid, but almost 90% of the electronic cigarette liquid that was being marketed in the in our local market contain nicotine. It is proven by the enforcement activity that have been conducted earlier from our pharmacy. And then the other type, the other ingredient is propylene glycol or PG. They call it SPG, and vegetable glycerin or VG, PG and VG. These two is actually important for the liquid to vaporize, to produce vapor. And of course, the fourth one is the flavor. Like what I said just now, the coffee one, the cappuccino one, all the fruity base, like mango, strawberry, they can mix all type of flavor inside the e-liquid. The flavor mainly to attract the user, to give a taste, to make the electronic cigarette more palatable for the user to use. All right, so that is the basic content that they put inside the electronic cigarette. And bear in mind, they can put anything inside if we don't have any control for the for this product. All right, next slide. Okay, so basically what you have learned the first objective just now. You have to know that there are two types of electronic cigarette, which is a closed and open, and they have used the liquid as a smoking substance. And what are the four main ingredients that has been put inside the liquid? So for the second objective, I will just briefly inform to all of you that what are the legislation or what are the law pertaining to control the electronic cigarette. Electronic cigarette, as well as conventional cigarette, is what we say as a regulated product, because it can be sold, but it do causes some harm to the user. So it is being regulated by certain regulation or certain law. For the conventional cigarette, if you remember, I said to you the heated tobacco product, the cigarette light, but use the device to heat the product. All the tobacco product previously controlled under Control of Tobacco Product or CTPR 2004, which is falls under the Food Act. But if you aware that last year Ministry of Health, we have passed the new law for all type of smoking product, not only tobacco, but it also will encompass the electronic cigarette, whether contain nicotine or not containing nicotine. If this is all will fall under Control of Smoking Product for Public Health Act 2024. So this law has been passed in the Parliament last year in both houses, upper and lower houses. So it has been signed by our Yang di-Pertuan Agong, but it will soon be enforced this year. This year will be enforced together with all the regulation that will describe or that we explain details about the regulation or what can be, what can or what cannot for this product to be sold here. So basically, the regulation will be more or less similar like conventional cigarette. There will be no advertising, no promotion, cannot be sold to those minors, and there will be a control of packaging, labeling, design. They will be spelled out in the regulation that will be under this control of smoking product for Public Health Act 2024. Okay, so there is a brief information to all of you with regard to the legislation that will control the electronic cigarette in Malaysia. So next slide, please. All right. Okay, so this is the third learning objective, which is you have to take the history of vaping. In view of increasing use of electronic cigarette among our population, if you can see our NHMS, both in adolescent and in adult population, we have seen an increased percentage of users of e-cigarette users. So we can add, so if you see the patient who came with a respiratory illnesses or with a respiratory symptom, it's very important for all of you to take, beside the smoking history, also to ask them about the vaping history. So what are the questions that you need to ask? Is the first one is in terms of the usage, the e-cigarette usage, when they last use, whether they are the daily user or they just use it occasionally, when is the last use and the duration. This is important because later on you will learn about the criteria for EVALI. So there are certain duration or time that we consider EVALI it has fulfilled the last use of electronic cigarette. In terms of method-wise, whether they use aerosol, dabbing, or dripping, this is a more advanced. For a regular user, they don't actually can tell with regard to the method. Most probably this one is not. If you can ask them, if they can give to you the method that they use, it's okay. But if they also don't know, it's okay for you to not to report it. In terms of frequency, of course, we want to know whether they are heavily dependent to the electronic cigarette or not. And the last one is they use with concomitant smoking product, because we also found most of the electronic user those previously smoked conventional cigarette, and majority of them are still smoking and also use the electronic cigarettes. So they are considered as a dual user. And sometimes, whether they has history of using other substance inside the electronic cigarette. They also, because we had a patient that admit that they use cannabis inside the e-liquid. Okay, and the second one is on the device or the e-liquid that they use. And this is also important for the control measures. In order for us to do in terms of public health side, it's important for us to know the device, the liquid, the product name, what are the system, is it an open or closed system? I have already presented earlier. The type of substance used, whether they have use other thing, nicotine use, and the source of the product, whether they buy in the online or through a local store, or whether where they use they get the product. And if you remember, I said we have already passed the new bill, so they will, if the bill the act will enforce soon, so there will be no more online selling that is will be allowed for all these products. All right. So that is basically the history of vaping that you have to get from the patient if you suspected the patient to have a probable or confirmed EVALI. Okay. Next slide. All right. So this the next two slides, I will just briefly inform you regarding a bit on behavior of vaping. The behavior of vaping is not as the same as behavior of smoking, but with the knowledge in terms of behavior of vaping is still little for us to know. And we had one study in 2016, the National E-Cigarette Survey, that asked the participant with regard to their behavior. At that time in 2016, where majority of the e-cigarette users still using the mode, the mode light, you remember the open system one. In 2016, port is still not there. So so at that time, the user said the main frequency for e-cigarette use is around 19 sessions, or if we translate into a stick, is around 90 stick. And each session, they will puff. They will puff about 16. The frequency is about 6. The mean frequency is about 16. Okay, next slide. Next slide. And at that time, they use the previous slide. Sorry. Okay, in terms of the nicotine strength, they prefer the 6 mg, which I think is not more no more valid for currently, because currently we have more users that use the pod, which is the strength is still is higher, and they are more preferred the fruity flavor at that time 2016. But currently, I think the trend has been changing to a creamy flavor like vanilla or cappuccino. All right. So lastly, so that is all the 3 learning objectives that you have to learn after my lecture, which is with regard to the type of electronic cigarette, with regard to what are the legislation, and also the history taking. And my last point here is that because EVALI is a new entity, new disease, so there is a requirement from the Ministry of Health to notify this disease, because we still need to know, we need to monitor, we need to do a surveillance for this disease. So this is a QR code. You can scan it. From this, you can have a surat arahan notifikasi from our Director General in 2022. There will be also a garis panduan notifikasi and a notification form we have included in this QR code. So next is just, okay, yes, this is the surat arahan notifikasi. Next slide. Next slide. This is the flow chart for you if you are in the hospital or you are in the health facility that suspected there is a probable or EVALI cases. So this is the flow for you that you have to submit the notification form to the nearest PKD, and the PKD we submit to the State Health Office, and the State Health Office we submit the notification form to the Ministry of Health that we go to the Sektor Kawalan Tembakau dan FCTC in Disease Control Division. All right, next. Okay, this is the notification form. You can also have it from the QR code just now. So next slide. All right. Okay. So for the last slide, the take home message for my topic is you have to know that there are many types of electronic cigarette. There will be a variety of type in terms of design, and also that will correlate with the behavior of the users. And but luckily we had already passed our legislation last year, so we hope that we can control in terms of the design, in terms of the attractiveness, and in terms of the accessibility of the product, so we can also reduce the prevalence of electronic cigarette use in our population. And the second take-home message is the importance of taking a history of vaping among those who suspected, especially young men, came with a respiratory illness. Even though you are not still rule out all the other disease, but it's very important for you to get to know the vaping history. So I think that's all the thing that I would like to present today. So I will pass back to Dr. Hayati. Thank you.